Hi, everyone. Just a quick note that we talk about all 4 episodes of the Netflix limited series Adolescence in this one episode. So if you've not seen the series in its entirety, you might want to wait until you do to listen to our coverage. Thank you and enjoy the show. Little Miss Recap contains adult language. Little Miss Recap is intended for entertainment purposes only. Little Miss Recap is part of the Acast Creator Network. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Little Miss Recap. My name's Amy.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
Amanda, today we are here to talk about a scripted recap, which we don't do often.
We don't. When people ask about the podcast, I say we do primarily reality and documentaries and the occasional scripted show. And then when people are like, oh, what scripted shows? I realize it's really only been like 3.
Yeah.
The Crown, Bare Naked Ladies. We just talked about that. The Crown, Yellow Jackets.
Yes.
Did Love and Death in the beginning, and that was about it.
Yeah, and Mad Men. The rewatch.
And Mad Men, yeah.
So, but I love talking about scripted.
I do too.
Oh, I did Baby Reindeer.
Oh yeah, you did do Baby Reindeer, yeah. There's the occasional, but it's when I try to say scripted TV to elevate us, I realize it's really not fair.
I realized though, as an English major, this is what I love.
Yeah.
Like I sent you, I've introduced you to Podtastica.
Yes.
And they do like 2-hour episodes on Yellow Jackets where they go real deep.
It's really good.
I can listen to that shit all day long because that's like what I love.
Yeah.
So
I just love the analysis of it.
Yeah. There's part of me that's like, can we just do 3-hour analysis of, and then I'm like, no, that's not what anybody's here for. So no.
That's not who we are.
No, that won't be happening. Don't worry.
We don't live that life.
No,
that life's not for us.
But we do need to talk about shows that are real hot and that everybody's talking about.
And that are real important. And I think this is one of them.
Yeah, we're talking about Adolescence. Yeah. And not only am I struggling to spell it, but sometimes I struggle to say it.
It's okay. Adolescence. Okay. If folks haven't watched it, it is available on Netflix.
So we're going to jump right in. We don't have a real detailed. So the minisode, the purpose of the minisode is to like focus on our feelings about the show.
Yeah.
Talking at a higher level.
We're not recapping it.
We're assuming you've all watched it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So I'll go through episode by episode, just high level things that stuck out, and we can talk about it, and then we'll have a broader discussion at the end. Does that make sense?
That works for me.
So this is 4 episodes. It's on Netflix, like Amanda said. It's a Netflix limited series, and they're already wanting a season 2, to which I say no.
No, there's nothing. No, there's nothing more to say.
Yeah. What's the guy's name? The Steven.
Here, I'll get the IMDb of this. I gotcha. Hold on.
The father in the show is the one who wrote it, and let him work on a different project. He doesn't have to give us a season 2 of this.
Stephen Graham.
Thank you. Okay. So in episode 1, so the whole series starts with this really intense police raid. Like we meet these 2 detectives who really don't feature too prominently in it. What they lead us to is this not a home invasion, a
home arrest,
an arrest, but it is American style. They're in
terrifying.
there with like guns blazing. Yeah.
Which felt very not British to me, but I guess that does happen.
It did. I mean, Timmy always tells the joke of, I think it's a Monty Python thing, stop or I'll yell stop again.
That's, like, what am I going to do to you?
Yes. But this felt American. It was very intense. It was really hard to watch. And what was so hard for me was you didn't know what was going on. And many times throughout this series, we are feeling what the characters are feeling.
Yep.
And that's deliberate and it's really effective.
Yeah.
We don't get an answer to what is even going on here for like a good 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. They drop us right into the action. We know nothing about this family. We know nothing about this kid. We know nothing about anything other than the police are showing up in the middle of the night and pulling this kid out of bed and he wets his pants because he's so fucking terrified.
Yeah.
And he's a little kid.
Yeah. Also, so then we see him, he's being brought into the booking process. We spend a lot of time on this, and there's a lot of procedural stuff that felt I don't know. I felt a different way about episodes 1 and 2 than I did about 3 and 4.
Okay.
Arlo again with the noise.
Mm.
In episode 1, he goes through his whole booking process, and it's like, I don't know if we needed all of that, but I guess we did.
I think we needed it to understand his relationship with his father and
Yeah.
to see the two of them together.
Yeah.
I found it really interesting that I guess this is an English thing. You know, we're speaking as Americans with our knowledge of the US legal
Sure.
system, which
Yeah.
isn't entirely different than the British
No.
system, but it's just a titch different. So there's going to be differences. I mean, a lot of our laws are based off the Magna Carta. Like, yeah. This is just what we're doing. Anyway, look at me pulling out the Magna Carta, like I know shit about anything, which I don't. But I found it interesting that he got an assigned adult right away.
Yes.
And I talked to you about it. Like, it felt like that guardian, what we think of as a guardian ad litem, but it was just a real temporary, like, until you decide you either have your dad here or you pick someone else, you're not going to be a little kid through this alone.
I will tell you that I really struggled with the first half of this episode in the beginning because I was like, wait a minute, this is a kid. This is a kid. You have to tell the parents. Like I felt like there was really that clash of how they're treating him and is that appropriate for a kid.
Right.
So when the lawyer says, you know, they must have something big for them to have treated him this way.
Right.
I was like, okay. But like, I think you think when your kids are that age that everything has to go through you.
And it doesn't.
So this felt real weird that he was being sort of isolated from his family. It definitely evoked some sort of emotional reaction from me.
Yeah. And I think it gave the hint pretty quickly. It's like, we're not talking about some kid who spray painted, fuck you on a wall.
Yeah.
Which is what I would think a 13-year-old would do.
They also make a big deal out of the dad being asked to be the appropriate adult. Like the mom is kind of offended. And I thought that was really interesting that he chose the dad. I think it could be boiled down to Jamie being 13 years old and being scared and wanting his dad as a quote unquote tough guy to protect him. I don't know. But
he also said he didn't feel like his dad would make fun of him or would, he felt like he could trust his dad, but you could tell that there's a wall between these two.
Yeah. Well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
The idea that Jamie hates needles, we see a little bit of that. I'm just writing like things that stuck out to me. The idea that Jamie hates needles and needs his dad is like a reminder that he is a boy.
I think the casting of this child was so
This was his first role.
This is his first role. His name is Owen Cooper. I think having this little fresh-faced baby with all the freckles.
Yep.
He didn't even look 13.
No.
And
you could see the dad being like, wait, he hates needles.
Right.
And he's like, that's like I talk about Merlin and Title, like that's my little boy.
Yeah. He hates needles, so I need to help him through that.
Yes.
Like
there's this juxtaposition of this innocent child being in this very clinical, scary setting.
Right. And knowing something must be really bad for them to be doing this to this little child.
We learn the crime is Katie Leonard was murdered. She was a girl about his age, maybe a year or two older.
They were in school together, so around the same age.
Interesting choice that Katie Leonard really doesn't focus in this. And I'll get to a theory I have about why. Okay. She does sing the song at the end. The actress who was going to play her, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in the questioning room at the end of episode 1, and there's a video. Yeah. And dad sees the video. So again, halfway through, maybe I think I wrote 35 minutes in, we still don't know what the police know or what is the impetus for them going to the house and pulling Jamie out in this way.
Right. And why are they asking questions about this girl? Like you just don't know what's happening.
We know there was a murder, but that's all we know. Which was really interesting to do it that way. So, there's this one point where the dad is like, look, this is it. Tell me if you did this. And I felt that so hard as a parent.
Yeah.
Like that moment where you're just like, just tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth.
Yeah. We've had situations in our home where we've had to say like, or Todd said to say to his son, like, I can only help you if you tell me what's happening.
And
I want to help you, but you have to tell me. And
Yeah.
this kid is having that same, the father's going, just tell me so I can help you.
Right. And the kid is saying, like, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. So the dad's like, okay, all right.
Okay.
Well, that changes when there's this video. And my heart just broke for the father because, guys, the video, as you know, is Jamie committing the crime. And it's
Like
graphic.
murdering this girl.
And it's brutal. And there's no debating whether or not it's him.
Nope.
So the whole premise of the show is so interesting in that way, in that there's no question if this kid did this.
Nope.
He did
not
it.
at all. He did it.
Yeah. So I wrote, Dad says to him, what have you done? And Dad starts to cry. And at first, when Jamie touches his dad, he flinches
pulls away.
because he's crying and he doesn't want Jamie to see him crying.
Yeah. I think it's, he doesn't want Jamie to see him crying, but I also think it's this moment of, who is this kid?
Yeah. But then he very quickly leans
comes
into
right back,
him and they
and they hold
sob
each
together. And I wrote, this is like the pull between protecting your child, but also being absolutely mortified by your child.
Yeah.
Like,
and being disgusted by his child.
Yes, yeah. Episode 2, to me, was the weakest of the episodes. It was just them
and in some ways the most terrifying.
It was them at school questioning the kids. It really shines a light on the inner world of teenagers that we have absolutely no access to.
No.
And our
and
parents
just how
didn't
out of
have access
control.
to it when we were teenagers. It will forever be that way.
But it's so different now.
It's very different now.
It's so different now. I mean, I've talked a lot about being horribly bullied in middle school.
Yep. But you could go home and escape it.
I could get away from it. And these kids can't get away from it.
No, they
ever.
can't. No, they can't.
And they can keep it all very private in this one little box phone thing and keep it in their pocket and no one knows. And it's terrifying.
So this theme starts to emerge because this is where they're looking for the motive. This theme starts to emerge. There's Jamie's friend Ryan is hit by a girl who's a friend of the victim. And
yeah, she goes ape shit on him.
She goes hog wild on him. And while Bascom, the inspector, whatever he is, the detective, while he's questioning Ryan, the detective's trying to like relate to Ryan. And he's like, oh yeah, I did things when I was a kid. Like I ran into walls to make it look cool. Like, da, da. He's like, yeah, but you probably didn't lose any teeth. You were cool. Like there's this idea that these boys have no self-esteem.
Right.
They're like, you were probably
cool.
rich. You were
probably
wanted. You were probably, like this whole. So we start to see that. We see Jamie do it later with the counselor. Like it's
that these boys I mean, I thought my self-esteem was in the crapper in middle school. These boys, it's so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just this sense of like, they don't know who they are.
No. And they're so sure that everyone else is better than them.
Which
so
I mean, we felt too, but
we didn't
different. We didn't feel that way about adults. We thought adults were the enemy.
Yeah. Or they were going to help us, but like, I didn't feel like I was in competition with adults.
No.
And I found it interesting that they cast a kid who looked very much like Jamie.
Yes, to be
Ryan.
Ryan.
These kids look very similar.
Yep.
Yeah. These little fresh-faced freckle boys.
It's not until the detective's son tells him what some of the emojis mean that we get the emergence of a motive. And it's the manosphere.
Yeah.
The dynamite is an exploding red pill. He explains about red pill, blue pill, and the matrix. The 80-20 rule, which I read was kind of, it's talked about in manosphere circles, but it's kind of a low-key theory, which now will probably get some air.
I'd never heard this before, but this is all this Andrew Tate shit. Like,
Yep. They directly mention Andrew Tate, which is good. Who, by the way, was just arrested for beating up his girlfriend. So,
now that we brought him back into the U.S., now we've just arrested him. Great.
Yep.
Good job.
So she was the kid says she was saying that Jamie was an incel. So we talk a little bit about this, and then there's this side.
Also, how can a 13-year-old be an incel?
I know that's what That's
why it's like so like says. What the fuck.
Episode 3 is the therapist. This episode was mind
blowing.
I also love the one shot.
Yeah. The whole thing is filmed in a one shot in one take. It's pretty amazing. And actually I read that they filmed the third episode first based on Stephen Graham's schedule and availability. So this episode doesn't have the dad in it. So they filmed this one first.
Okay.
The woman who played the shrink, Briani, she was Princess Anne in The Crown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew her from somewhere.
Yeah, me too. I was like, why do I know this face and voice? Yeah, she played Princess Anne in I think the middle incarnation of Anne in The Crown.
So let's talk about this scene, because this was, again, we have her bringing him hot chocolate with marshmallows, reminding us this is a kid. But something I want to talk about is the whole concept, the whole conceit of the show is the different experiences of the different genders, right?
Yeah.
Male, female, whatever. The experience of being a man versus a woman.
Yes.
In the world.
In this little world, yeah.
Yes. The show mirrors that in how it's told, because the women are not really given a voice in this series. We don't hear a lot from the mother, who should have a more prominent role. We don't hear a lot from the victim. We don't hear anything from her friends, really. That girl punches, and we hear a little bit about, but that's it.
That's it.
It is a story about men told by men.
Yeah.
And we see this even in the beginning when Bryony, is that her name?
Bryony, yeah.
Bryony.
Birony. So Bryony.
She comes in. I'm just going to call her the therapist. She comes in, and the guard is like mansplaining her own job to her.
Yeah. And talking about, like, do you like your job better? Because my job sucks.
Yeah. Yep. And we see this theme too when she's questioning Jamie. Jamie keeps saying the other guy was easier. The other guy was better. So there's the two therapists, and the other one presumably is a man.
Male.
And
I thought it was interesting that this is very clearly not their first meeting.
Right.
We don't know until the end that it is their last meeting.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't know.
She doesn't know until she finally figures it out.
Yeah. Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words. The whole scene goes back and forth between this sweet boy who loves hot cocoa to like this man child who is insisting she's posh, she's pretty, you must think I'm ugly. And they talk a lot about his idea of masculinity. She manages to kind of crack him open when she gets him to talk about what he thinks of himself and what he's into sexually.
Yeah.
At one point, he flips out on her. He's looming over her. And he says, she like signals for the guard, and he says, signaling him like a fucking queen. Yeah. Like there's this hatred for women in his language.
Yeah. Like she's weak and she's stupid and she can't fight against him, and he's the one in control. Both of their acting was beautiful. Hers is just amazing, how she just holds on till he leaves the room.
Yeah, she keeps her cool. But one of the things I want to bring up is he mentions fake news. Did you catch that? Like he says, you can't, there was a video, but you can't trust anything. It's fake news.
Everything's fake news. Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then, so on my second watch, I wanted to watch for the moment when it clicks in her brain that he, whatever, I don't know what she's there to decide. If I think she's just can stand trial, I'm not sure.
If he understands what happened, and I think to try to get an assessment of not his guilt or innocence, because we know he's guilty.
Right.
But try to get a sense of what the, not necessarily even the motive, but like, was this well thought out? Was this just a crime of like, but what happened?
Is that going to, because later he talks about pleading guilty. So he hasn't really stood trial yet.
No.
So
we're still in the pre-trial piece. This is 7 months after the incident.
I'm wondering if she is there to judge his competency to stand trial. Maybe as an adult,
I think that's part
or
of
as
it.
A juvenile. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's part of it. Does he really understand what the fuck is happening here?
So I wanted to see, when did it click in her brain? Did it click in her brain when he's looming over her? I don't think so. I think she made her decision when he said the phrase, hold on. He talks about having the knife, and he says, I just wanted to scare her. And he says, she was a bitch. Okay. I have the knife. I wanted to scare her. I could have touched any part of her body, and I didn't.
Yep.
And it was like in that moment that she realized, in my opinion, this was a power thing.
Yeah.
This was power for him.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I'm so hurt and and This was power. And
he
he's
felt
going
powerless.
to do it again.
Yep.
Mhm.
He felt powerless against her. He talks about how he was waiting until like she admitted that or didn't like till she felt little so he could feel big.
Yep.
And it was all about, I mean, the whole thing. He's like, don't you think I'm ugly? I'm ugly. I'm ugly. I'm not cute. Boys, people don't like me. Everyone hates me. You're posh. You're better than I am.
Yep.
This kid has so little self-worth. It's not self-esteem even. It's self-worth. And that's why he did it.
Yeah. So he's ushered out screaming and they take like 4 minutes. Because I'm going to go, there's 4 or 5 minutes left of this episode. What else happens? I forget. She's just collecting herself.
Yeah.
For like a whole 4 to 5 minutes of the episode.
She's not even talking. It's beautiful.
And it's just silent.
But she like starts to cry and then you can see she gets angry.
Yep.
And then she gets scared.
Yep.
And you can just, I felt like at the end where she landed was her heart just broke for where we are. Not even just for this kid, but just for how we're even here.
I agree. So then episode 4 is 13 months out from the crime. And it's the effect of what this has it's the effect on the family.
Yeah.
It's Dad's birthday. It's been 13 months. He gets his van vandalized.
With nonce, which we had to look up what that meant.
Yeah. Which it means like it's a slang for like a sex offender.
So,
but that kid's not. He didn't sexually assault her or anything, right?
No, but I think we're just trying to humiliate these people.
So we get a sense of, and we see this a lot in true crime stuff, where it's like, does the family move? Do we stay here? Like, this sense of like, where do we belong now?
Right. And I think the daughter was right. Like, we can't run away. Yeah. We could move to Liverpool. Yeah. And and when she said we could go back to Liverpool, I'm like, no wonder I can't understand any of these people. Yeah. Because Liverpool accents are I had to put subtitle on.
Home of John Lennon.
Right. I had to put subtitles on because the accents were so thick for me. Half the time I couldn't understand. I'm like, oh, yeah, they're from Liverpool. That makes sense.
I'm always watching with subtitles. You know that.
I know. But it was just like the daughter, the teen was like, we can't escape this. It will find us again.
There's also this duality throughout of like, this terrible thing happened over here and this beautiful thing is over here. And they're represented by the daughter and the son.
Right. And they were raised in the same home with the same parents.
Yeah.
You know.
So at the end, so what I want to talk about is the end of episode 4, which I'm going to admit to you guys, I was not real into this. I was like, okay, this is, it's very slow.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, when they're processing him and they're doing the fingerprinting, we do all 10 fingers.
It's very British. The whole thing is very British.
Very slow paced.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I mean, this is really good. But like, and then that last scene with the mom and the dad.
Sitting on the edge of the bed.
I was riveted. And when it was over, I was like, okay, now I get it holistically. I get what it's supposed to be. But it was like, I was riveted. So they're talking about, I could barely watch this again, but they talk about this idea that they thought, and we could talk about this more broadly now. Like, you think your kid is safe.
Yeah.
In their home.
He's in his room. What bad could be happening there?
And for for the people who raised us, that was true.
Yes.
So we went into raising our kids, I think some of us, believing that was true.
Yeah.
It's how I talk about the boomers versus Gen Xers. Like, I always talk about how the world the boomers grew up in was much safer outside than the world Gen X grew up in.
Right. But they raised us the same way that they were raised.
Us, right. With the same like, go do whatever you got to do.
Go be feral.
Yeah. So it's interesting because now it's happening inside the home.
You can't get away from it.
You can't get away from it. So, we saw this. It's so bizarre to make this connection to Sister Wives, but we saw this happen with Cody.
Yeah.
He turned to the internet. He told us this.
He did.
I turned to the internet to get support.
To figure out how to handle a divorce. Yep.
Yeah.
And he wound up on fucking 4chan.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And if these kids are Googling, I hate myself. Why don't girls like me? Why am I ugly?
It's even more insidious than that. Did you hear what Becca was telling me about her son?
No.
So Becca told me that her son, who's in college, was on campus and there was a group there. And they were like, their pull into these young men was, does your girlfriend nag you about playing video games?
Oh, shit.
Do is she on you about playing too many video games?
Right. Ugh.
Like, that's the framework.
Right.
And where does that pull you in?
It's this naggy bitch.
Yeah.
Trying to ruin your life.
Yeah. This is a problem. Now, there's been some interesting discussion in our Facebook group, Backdoor Friends, where we've had some people say, they're not comfortable with the idea that the show is positing that all young boys are victims and, the manosphere is this evil thing. Like, but this is a victim. He is a 13-year-old boy. Kids are not born evil. I talk about this all the time.
No.
Like, kids are a product of their environment, and their environment now includes
all of this input.
All of this.
And the parents, and our parents, whether they were successful or not, had a much better opportunity to kind of filter what media got to us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they failed.
Yeah.
I saw Rambo well before I was allowed to see a rated R movie.
Sure. Dirty
First
Dancing.
Blood. Yeah,
Sexual Awakening.
We all snuck in some shit, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't relentless.
Yeah.
It wasn't all encompassing and relentless.
I want to talk about dating specifically.
Okay.
I've not dated in the digital age, but I feel like this is a symptom of this, is like you almost have this endless buffet on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back to this 80-20 thing, which is the concept, if you don't remember from the show, that 80% of women are drawn only to 20% of men.
Right. So so men will never be even and okay, because women have all this power.
I think when we used to date locally, it felt different. You know what I mean? Like, the pool was smaller and everybody had a little better of a chance. Let me put it this way. I would go on, what am I going on, Amanda? Tinder?
Yeah, you go on Tinder.
Okay.
Well, no, you'd probably go on Bumble, but yeah.
Say I was looking to meet somebody.
Right.
I would go on Tinder. I would have a very poor chance of doing well there. Like, you know what I mean? You put some beautiful, thin, young person on there and they're going to do great. Whereas before,
you think that's true, but it's a mess for everybody.
Before that stuff.
Yeah.
I think people who weren't, and I don't mean to speak disparagingly of myself, but like, I'm not in the top 20%. Let's just put it that way. Say I'm in 30%. Okay. Whereas before, you could go out as an average looking person into your community and meet other average looking people and do well. And I feel like that is not the case now. It's the Love is Blind people. It's the Temptation Island people. It's all these pretty people.
And it's such a thoughtfully and intentionally curated view into what people look like and what people's lives are like.
Yes.
I find it interesting because people will talk about social media and be like, social media is so toxic for me. There's so much drama and all that. I'm like, and I don't find that to be true in my experience. But I've also been I'm older, so I've probably made different choices. But B, I'm very intentional about curating my view of the world, not to like have a shiny bow on it, but for it to be more real. Yes. The exact opposite. Yes. I don't have drama on social media. I don't look at other people's Instagram reels and feel bad about myself. If anything, I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of doing that? Like, that's the worst it comes to me, because I look at real people and I realize, someone said to me once, like, why is every selfie you take good? I'm like, because I don't post the hundreds of bad ones I try.
Yeah.
I post the good ones.
Yeah.
Everyone is posting the good ones. You can't compare that.
So maybe let me reframe what I was trying to say. Okay. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. You hit on something here. Is I have always been someone who has attracted partners to me by more than my looks. Like, I'm an acquired taste. You have to get to know me.
Same.
I think I have a good sense of humor. I think I'm smart.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I can be interesting to have a conversation with. Mm-hmm. You don't get that if you're seeing me on Tinder.
Right. If that's all you got.
Right. So like, Jamie could be the most interesting boy.
Right.
But like, if you're just looking at him surface level, he's not.
Well, he doesn't feel he's cute.
Right.
As a 13-year-old girl, I would have thought he was adorable.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think average, quote unquote, average looking people, the normal everyday looking person feels they're being overlooked.
Right.
In service of this other hot thing that we're seeing on all of our screens, all of our television screens,
Right.
all these reality shows, which are so prominent now, which weren't when we were growing up.
Yep.
And I think, my daughter like is all into Love Island. She watches it constantly when it's on. It's like, what is she seeing there?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I think that's one very small part of the problem.
I agree.
I think a huge part of the problem is the parental disconnect.
Yeah.
I think because we think our kids are safe, we don't think that we need to check in. We don't need to. I always say this, kids are very easy to love and they love you. There's a trust there, that a power over them that you have that is, it's unbelievable. But a kid is not good at saying, hey, Dad, I miss you and I want to spend some time with you.
Right.
And if you notice, when the dad talks about the things that he thinks he did right as a parent, which again, he did do better than his father. He talked about that.
They both say they did better than the parents they had, which is all we can all do.
And he says, I tried with Jamie. I took him to sports. But that it never goes beyond that.
No.
You took him to sports and he wasn't an athlete.
Yep. So why didn't
you take him to the movies? Why didn't you take him here? Why didn't you take him there? Like, you don't only have to take your son to sports.
Right. Like, sort of like at the end of episode 2 when Bascom realizes, oh my God, I've got to connect with my kid.
Yes.
Because I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I couldn't even tell if like his parents were still together, if he lived with the kid or not. I couldn't tell, but it could have gone either way, which is kind of the scary part.
Yeah.
Because he felt so disconnected from him. And he's like, let's go get chips, because clearly he knows his kid likes chips. And he said, where do you want to go? He's like, the Chinese chip place. And he's like, Chinese for French fries? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because that's what chips are. But then he was like, no, I'm going to do what he wants. Like, I'm prioritizing his want here because I want to connect with him. And what I need to connect with him is for him to feel like he has autonomy and control.
Yeah.
And I don't blame Eddie and Amanda at all for what their kid did. Like,
no.
At all.
No.
But it makes you wonder, like, if Eddie had taken him to an art museum or the movies or just for chips.
Yeah. I think that's the lesson here. Like, we just raise our children in such gendered stereotypes.
Yeah.
It's Jamie. I wrote here, Jamie had to adhere to masculinity standards, felt like a failure every time he didn't.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. And again, it's so tragic because you do feel that the dad did. We're always going to have failures as parents.
Yeah.
Always. There's always going to be something we should have done better. Yeah. Something we could have done more. And my mother always used to say to me, and she's so right, when I think about this miniseries, she would say, you never know what mistakes you're making as a parent until it's too late.
Yeah.
And that's true.
Yeah. And I'm sure if Eddie and Amanda could go back, they would try to connect with his kid in 17 different ways.
100%. It's
but
not
they
their
thought
fault.
Because he was just in his room, he was fine.
But I think that's the rub of it. I think what we need to start thinking about parenting is more than just making sure your kid is safe.
Yeah.
And I think that's the traditional sense of parenting. Like, I just need to keep you safe.
Yep.
But safe means so many different things now.
Right.
Safe
Jamie was physically safe in his room.
Yeah.
But it's so much bigger than that, and it's so much more insidious. And there is this, toxic masculinity in this manosphere. And if you're a kid who's feeling unseen, unvalued in your home, in part because your father has this idea of what masculinity looks like, that you don't fall into that bucket naturally. You're going to be attracted to other things that are saying, this is another way to be a man. This is how you can be powerful and strong.
Yeah.
And it's women who are fucking you over by all the power they're getting means power you're not getting.
Yeah.
And it's not a pie, but it feels like a pie when you're a little kid.
And I think it's really important too for parents to talk about their kids of either gender, any gender, about what gendered stereotypes are.
Yeah.
And, I like to say I think that's changing. I think we are talking about these things more, but not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough. So one of the things I read that I thought was interesting is that there's a lot of push to have this shown in middle schools for boys.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? Thinking of that reminds me of, remember when day after when they showed that, when there was that thing about like the nuclear, and like it was for weeks ahead, the schools talking to parents about whether they should watch this or not watch this or whatever. And if folks don't know, it was a movie about like the Russians dropped a nuclear bomb on like Kansas.
Yeah.
And what happened afterwards?
It's scary, terrifying.
It's terrifying. And because that was our biggest fear in the mid 80s is that nuclear war, because mutually assured destruction is actually a valuable way of being, because it worked. Anyway, I think they would have to have that same kind of conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know how many boys would sit and watch this.
Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words. Here's another thing. I would love to hear in the comments from mothers raising boys, because I'm not. You guys are.
Yeah. It's made me think a lot.
Do you have conversations about your stepson's view of women?
We do. I mean, not
like, how do you do that? I guess is my question.
I mean, we just talk about life, and as much as he'll talk, because he's 16, so a lot of it's just grunt, food, grunt, and then back to the room, which is sort of the whole point of this. But I mean, our kid at least is, I'm going to say, by 16-year-old standards, is relatively enlightened.
Yeah.
You know, and his core group of friends is boys and girls.
I think that's real important. I talked about this on Temptation Island. I know that's a weird bridge here.
I think it's true. These men did better when they had good girlfriends.
Having friends as women is super important. Let's stop the bullshit of men and women can't be friends. You can't have play dates with them because they're girls. Let's stop that. I think. Thank you. You hit on something. I think that is a good way to stop this from the beginning. It's a protective measure. It's not necessarily a solution.
Yeah.
But a protective measure would be encouraging different sex relationships when your kids are little.
Agreed.
Like friendships.
Yeah. And I mean, when our kid has his friends over, which he was doing more in the fall, playing Dungeons and Dragons and all that stuff, because all kids are, well, not all kids, lots of kids are into D&D again. Thank you, Stranger Things.
Oh, that's amazing.
And he would have, a mix of boys and girls. Not taking anyone's, gender assignment, but just
I understand.
Straight born at birth kind of thing. And to see how I don't think I've been deliberately watching it, but just to thinking about it now, watching how he interacts with his female friends, it's very similar to how he interacts with his male friends in a good way.
Yeah.
It's the ribbing, but it's also the like, I'll cut a bitch if someone hurts my female friend in the same way I'll cut a bitch if someone hurts my male friend.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask our kid who his closest friends are, he would name 2 boys, but there's nothing wrong with that. But he also hangs out and has good female friends. And I think that's really important because he sees them as people.
That's important.
Yeah.
Another element of this that I have in my notes here is that it is often the voice of quote unquote trusted adults, irresponsible people like Andrew Tate. And I think, adults have an inherent ethos with kids. Yeah. So you're hearing this radicalization coming from adults.
Yeah.
And you think that there's something to it.
Yeah.
It's, that's a whole other thing. And those messages are like, how do we, So let me tie this back to Gypsy Rose real quick.
Yeah.
So you and I are covering the show. We cover it through the lens of empathy for Gypsy. We talk about this a lot.
Yep.
Kristen made us a reel. We loved it. We talked about this on the show. We put the reel out on TikTok and it was a magnet for disgusting hate for her.
Did you take it down?
I took it down.
Okay.
But what I noticed in my TikTok notifications that I had not seen like a week earlier was that I had gotten a suggestion to limit who can comment on the reel because it seemed like it was attracting bullies, like bullying.
Oh, interesting.
Comments. So I think and I say that because I think that is a good thing. We need to start
that's a good use of AI.
I can't tell you how many times I've reported posts to Facebook
Yeah.
that are clearly bullying posts, and they come back and say there's no violation here.
Yep, everything's fine.
Yeah, we need to be better about this. We are in a new public space. And it needs to be, you can't scream fire in a crowded theater.
Nope.
You shouldn't be able to radicalize a whole generation of young boys.
Yeah. I think that's a good use of AI.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. So
but then it's also on the flip side, like, particularly Facebook in particular, the ways in which things get monitored on Facebook change radically based on the size of your group. Like we could say fuck over and over again in Backdoor Friends and it would never raise to the ire of the Facebook gods. You can't do that in the Sissy Squad because there are over 10,000 people and things change. Their moderation rules change. And sometimes it's just so random. It's like, okay, stop. This is clearly some AI thing. But I think that is quite often a good use of AI of, oh, we're seeing a lot of really negative things here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we limit and giving you as the creator the option to do it?
Yeah.
But it's just, I just feel like we're living in this world where there's so many ways to live your life that no one ever sees.
I agree. I also want to
as a parent, that's terrifying.
I also want to make a final push for social emotional learning in schools, which we've stripped out.
Yep.
And the arts have been stripped out of schools. And those were outlets for kids to express this kind of shit.
Yep.
And so you take away those outlets, you pump them full of this idea of hate.
Yep.
You have parents who are ignoring them. And not purposely.
No.
But I mean, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. And I think it's really, I think what you said earlier on is like, you think if your kid is in their room, they're safe because we were.
Yeah.
As long as I was in my room as a kid,
I was safe.
My mother didn't have to worry about me.
Yep.
The worst that was happening is I was coming across Skinamax. That's the worst. And it was the snow because we didn't have the channel. I mean, that's as bad as it could be.
Because when my girls were young, I worked in academia. I had access to a lot of people who talked about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of had a little bit of a leg up on knowing that this was out there. And so I would make sure that I would peek my head in their room and talk to them for 10 minutes. I still do it. I go in, I sit down on the bed, tell me the latest drama, blah, 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 blah. I think a lot of parents out there don't know this is happening. And that's why I think this needs to be shown.
I think so too.
In schools, because I mean, open up a conversation with kids talking about it with each other.
Yeah.
That could be really meaningful.
Interesting. Yeah. It was just heartbreaking. And this little baby who got radicalized.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the end scene, and I read about initially, so Stephen Graham is in the very last scene and he's in Jamie's room.
Yeah, looking at the computer, looking
at everything in his room. Initially, the way the scene was written, he was going to get into Jamie's bed and pull the covers over him.
Oh, okay.
And they changed it to him kissing and tucking in the teddy bear.
Yeah.
Which I think is even more powerful.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's the last vestige connection he has to baby Jamie.
Yep.
And being able to take care of at least, I'm going to get choked up.
Yeah.
To at least being able to take care of his baby in that moment.
Yeah.
When he starts crying, what they had done is on the closet across in that room.
Yeah.
They put pictures of his wife and his children and a note that his children wrote that said, "We love you, Daddy."
To make him cry?
To break him wide open. Yeah, and he'd done a couple other takes of it and through the rehearsals because they did shoot it in one take. And and he was able to get there, but I'm glad that they did that because I think he really got there and he broke wide open in a way that you needed him to in that moment for the story.
Yeah. Yeah. It was extremely powerful. I will say another thing. The gaming, guys, just because your kid is playing video games, let me tell you something. I play World of Warcraft. The misogyny on those,
it's bad.
In those communities is horrific. Like you I'm telling you right now, monitor that shit. Talk
Yeah.
to your kids about that. And this is another thing. You're not going to be able to keep them from all of this.
No.
But
our kid plays primarily with his friends.
About it. Yeah.
He's not playing with strangers, which is helpful.
But you have to have the conversations about it.
Yeah.
That is the protective factor here, is to be having conversations around this stuff because they will get it in their world in some way.
Yep.
All right. Did we say it all?
I think
this
we
was
said
not
it all.
a mini-sode. This
is just an episode.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's important.
It's important. It really, because, I know I'm a mother of 2 women, but I deal with this on the other side of it. Yeah. I'm constantly talking to my daughters about warning signs to look for, how men should be treating them. Right. You know what I mean? Stuff
what's acceptable,
like
what's not, what to put up with, what not to.
Yeah.
And what to do when you're seeing the stuff that's not acceptable.
So this affects everybody.
It does.
It affects everybody.
All of us.
Yeah. And I don't know what the answer is, and we don't know what the answer is, but
no, but this is I think it's a really important series.
Yeah, I do too.
So,
all right, guys. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you,
pleasure.
Leo.
Leo showed up for business at the end, but
And take a look at that list that I put in Backdoor Friends, guys. Maid.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. What was the other one? Baby Reindeer. And this. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant pieces of film. Okay. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Little Miss Recap. If you'd like to support the show, the best way you can do that is to join our Twin Flame universe, which is our Patreon, Supercast, and Apple subscription feeds. The links for those are in the show notes. You get ad-free episodes and a ton of bonus content. You can also subscribe to the feed so you don't miss an episode, share the show with a friend, and leave a 5-star review. To contact the show, please email me directly at amy@littlemissrecap.com or join our Facebook group Backdoor Friends. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.